There is a battle in the Mahabharata that breaks every rule of honorable combat, involves the most controversial strategy Krishna ever devised, and ends with the death of the one man both sides loved most. The killing of Drona. And the weapon that killed him was not an arrow or a mace. It was a single word. A half-truth spoken by the most truthful man who ever lived. Drona was the guru. He taught both the Pandavas and the Kauravas the art of warfare. He was the greatest military teacher in the world. When the Mahabharata war began and Bhishma fell on the 10th day, Drona became the commander of the Kaurava army, and he was devastating. Unlike Bhishma, who had fought with restraint because he loved the Pandavas, Drona fought with clinical precision and zero mercy. He had one mission as commander: capture Yudhishthira alive. If the Kaurava forces could capture the Pandava king, the war would end without further bloodshed. Drona formed the Chakravyuha that killed Abhimanyu. Drona orchestrated battle formations that decimated the Pandava army day after day. The Pandavas were losing. They needed Drona to stop fighting. But Drona could not be defeated in combat. He was too skilled, too experienced, too powerful. The only thing that could break Drona was his heart. And the one person his heart was attached to above all others was his son, Ashwatthama. Krishna knew this. On the 15th day of the war, Krishna devised a plan. Bhima killed an elephant named Ashwatthama. Then he walked across the battlefield shouting at the top of his lungs, "Ashwatthama is dead! Ashwatthama is dead!" Drona heard the shout. His blood went cold. But he did not believe Bhima. Bhima was known for exaggeration and bluster. Drona needed to hear it from someone he trusted absolutely. He needed to hear it from Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira, who had never told a lie in his entire life, not once. Through decades of suffering, exile, humiliation, and war, his reputation for absolute truthfulness was his defining characteristic. It was the foundation of his claim to the throne. It was his identity. Krishna went to Yudhishthira and asked him to confirm that Ashwatthama was dead. Yudhishthira was horrified. He could not lie. He had never lied. But he also knew that if Drona continued fighting, the Pandava army would be destroyed. Krishna told him the exact words to say. Yudhishthira walked toward Drona and said, loud enough for the old teacher to hear, "Ashwatthama is dead." Then, much more quietly, almost under his breath, he added the word, elephant. Ashwatthama is dead. The elephant. Some versions say Krishna had the war drums beaten loudly at exactly the moment Yudhishthira said elephant, so that the word was drowned out. Either way, Drona heard only Ashwatthama is dead, spoken by the one man in the world who could not lie. Drona's world ended. His reason for fighting, his reason for living, his beloved son, gone. He laid down his weapons. He sat in his chariot, closed his eyes, and entered deep meditation. His soul began to leave his body. He was choosing to die. And while he sat there, unarmed, in meditation, eyes closed, defenseless, Drishtadyumna walked up and cut off his head. The man who was born specifically to kill Drona, who had emerged from a sacrificial fire with that sole destiny, took the head of an unarmed, meditating old man. The Pandava army cheered, and then slowly fell silent, because everyone knew what had just happened. Yudhishthira, the embodiment of truth, had spoken a half-lie. The most truthful man in the world had deliberately deceived an old teacher to his death. Before that moment, Yudhishthira's chariot had always hovered a few inches above the ground, a divine sign of his righteousness. The moment he spoke the half-lie, his chariot sank to the earth and never rose again. His perfect record was broken, and it could never be repaired. This is what the Mahabharata does better than any story ever written. It puts you in an impossible situation and asks, what would you do? If Yudhishthira tells the truth, Drona keeps fighting and thousands more die. If he lies, one man dies, but the war turns. What is the greater sin? The lie that saves thousands, or the truth that kills them? Krishna said the lie was necessary. Yudhishthira's chariot said otherwise. And the Mahabharata lets both answers stand, side by side, unresolved, for 5,000 years. Subscribe for more stories that refuse to give you